How's it going, guys? It's Jayton back today on the Thermo Diet podcast, talking a little bit about circulation. So I'm doing a solo podcast today, talking a little bit about all the different aspects of blood flow. And so whenever it comes to thermo, whenever you begin eating in a thermo way, your circulation is going to be greatly enhanced. So whenever, first of all, it's very tied to the metabolism. So the higher your metabolic rate is, the better your circulation is going to be, because you have more CO2 retention in the peripheral tissues, and then that causes less peripheral resistance whenever it comes to blood flow. So the capillaries are going to relax, and all the other blood vessels that go to the peripheral tissues are going to be relaxed. And this kind of pushes us into that parasympathetic state. And so we're in a very relaxed state, which puts less stress on the heart, causes less vasoconstriction, and that is actually going to allow for better nutrient delivery to the tissues, for better healing processes to occur. And whenever we talk about circulation, there's two different kinds of circulatory systems in the body. So we have the lymphatic system, and then we have the cardiovascular system. The lymphatic system doesn't necessarily have a pump. It's something that has to be moved around by movement of our body. And so that's one of the reasons that it's so important to just move around on a daily basis. So you can get the lymph moving around and kind of help with all those different detox processes that are happening through the lymph system. And then it actually does simply just moving throughout the day, whether it's standing, walking, exercising, is going to allow for less resistance and less kinks in certain blood vessels, to allow for less resistance against the heart, and puts less strain on the heart and allows for better blood flow to happen throughout the entire system. And so some of the things that you can do to enhance your circulation and to kind of help repair some of the blood vessels and help protect the endothelial cells, which are the cells that make up the blood vessels, are going to be, first of all, eliminating PUFAs from your diet is going to be extremely important, because PUFAs actually are going to cause not only vasoconstriction, but they're going to cause things like arteriosclerosis. So you're going to have hardening of the arteries because all of this inflammation that's occurring, and kind of making these blood vessels very rigid. And so it's going to be very damaging to the blood vessels. And so eliminating polyunsaturated fats is going to be very necessary. And then whenever you have an excess of cortisol in the system, that also leads to vasoconstriction, because what your body does whenever it has excess adrenaline and excess cortisol in the system is that it actually redirects all of the blood flow from the digestive tract, from the reproductive system, to the muscles. And like you'll notice that whenever you're in a sympathetically dominant state, that your fingers will freeze up, your toes will freeze up. That's because your body is redirecting the blood flow to the muscles, so you can either fight or flight. So it's basically that fight or flight response that we talk about, that stressed metabolism that's causing different kinds of blood flow to happen. And then you also have a decreased amount of blood flow to the prefrontal cortex, where right now in science is thought to be where a lot of our analytical and logical thinking is happening. And so downregulating cortisol and downregulating adrenaline are going to be extremely crucial for this. And some of the ways that you can do this are by upping your carbohydrate intake. So eating nice, nutrient-rich, very energy productive and energy supporting, very energy supporting foods. And so things like, so first of all, glucose is what we use to produce ATP within the cell. And so the more energy that we have, the more we can use to create order within the system and kind of have synergism between all the systems in the body. And so in order to do that, you can use carbohydrates, which are also going to cause a decrease in cortisol secretion and adrenaline, and is going to allow your body to be pushed into that parasympathetic state where peripheral resistance begins to go down. You have less vasoconstriction, have more vasodilation, which is where the blood vessels actually dilate and open up, so there's not as much stress on the heart. And so some other tips that you can use, not only eliminating polyunsaturated fats and just eating more carbohydrates, also meditation. Meditation is extremely beneficial whenever it comes to blood flow. They've actually shown that just by gaining awareness of your surroundings with as little as 6 deep breaths was able to dramatically decrease blood pressure. So simply just slowing down your mind and eliminating those excess stress hormones psychologically is going to greatly enhance the amount of blood flow that you have. Also supplementing with strategic nutrients like we have in redwood. We designed this specific supplement for that exact reason and to eliminate a lot of the different kind of dysregulations that come with some of the blood vessels like varicose veins and spider veins. So horse chestnut extract is very potent at eliminating varicose veins and spider veins. And then whenever you combine that with rutin, so you can get another rutin supplement off of Amazon. There are some very good organic rutin supplements out there on the market. Whenever you combine those two, it's going to be very potent at increasing the resistance to varicose veins and kind of preventing them and getting rid of them, as well as spider veins. And then increasing your vitamin C intake. So vitamin C is probably one of the most abundant antioxidants that's used in the human body. And it's actually so important that a lot of mammals like dogs and cats actually synthesize their own vitamin C from glucose in the liver. And so it's extremely important that you get enough vitamin C. And vitamin C protects the endothelial cells in the blood vessels. So it's going to help create resistance to stress within the circulatory system. And then, so that's another reason that we put vitamin C in redwood. And then combining that with garlic and dosing it every 12 hours, which is how we've kind of designed redwood. So you take 3 capsules in the morning and 3 capsules in the evening. They've actually shown in some studies that it was able to increase nitric oxide production by up to 200%. And so the reason that it does this is because it increases nitric oxide. And so nitric oxide is basically a precursor to a lot of different vasodilation processes that happen in the body. And then we also added Vasodrive AP in there, which is another, it's actually a patented ingredient that has several clinical trials done on it that have shown that it dramatically reduces blood pressure and increases nitric oxide production to allow for an enhanced circulation to occur. So redwood is probably one of our most effective supplements. It's also the most quick acting. So if you want to pick that up, you can go to umzu.com and check that out. And then some other things that you can do are simply just exercising more, just getting the blood moving and giving your body a reason to kind of push that blood to different areas. And some of the benefits that you're going to experience by increasing your blood flow are, first of all, decreased blood pressure. So you're not going to have as many of the side effects that come along with increased blood pressure and some of the kind of cardiovascular issues that come along with that. You're going to decrease the amount of stress that you have on the heart and kind of prevent a lot of basically fatigue of the heart, which is something that actually polyunsaturated fats can actually decrease the action potentials that occur during a heartbeat. And so that's another reason that you want to eliminate the polyunsaturated fats from your diet. But so you're going to create less stress for the heart. And then you'll also see with enhanced nutrient delivery to the different tissues in the system, you're going to see an increase in muscle mass. You're going to see an enhanced fat loss because fat, whenever it's oxidized, it actually goes into the bloodstream to be carried to different parts of the body to be converted into CO2 and water. And then it's carried out of the system through different oxidative processes and circulatory processes. And then another benefit is enhanced cognition. So your cognition is going to go up dramatically because you're going to have enhanced nutrient delivery and enhanced oxygen consumption within the brain. And so you're actually going to allow for better cognition to be taking place as well. So that's all I have for circulation in this episode. I'd say the biggest things that you can do are, first of all, make sure that you eliminate PUFAs from your diet. Eat enough carbs, which is extremely important for proper energy production and circulation and decreasing stress hormones. Meditate. Meditation is going to greatly enhance your ability to downregulate stress hormones and increase the parasympathetic system that you can increase CO2 retention and stuff like that. And then supplement strategically with different things. Redwood is kind of a answer to it all, really, because we put pretty much everything in there that you would need to enhance blood flow. So if you want to check that out, you can. But yeah, so those are my top 4 tips and top 4 action steps that you can use to enhance circulation. And then also we have this really cool UMZU gear that you can check out. Some of this stuff is really cool. This is probably my favorite shirt that I've ever seen. It's got that UMZU on there, and then it's got the fuck vegetables on the back, so don't eat your veggies. And then we have this really cool custom 4-eyed tiger raincoat that is really cool. This is pretty dope. All of this is Champion stuff, so it fits very well, and it's actually really high quality. So if you want to check some of this stuff out, you can. Make sure, if you haven't already, to check out thermodiet.com. That's where all of our information is. And also, if you want to pick up Redwood at umzu.com, you can make sure to pick up some of that. And we'll talk to you next time. Have a good one.